looking at Paul and Greg here. I'm trying to figure out which one is flight control and which one's the airplane coming in. I don't see our applicant. We'll give him a couple more minutes.
I did confirm receipt of the agenda, so let me just reach out.
You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay, he's here, so we'll get started.
Good morning, Brian.
Brian, you're muted.
Thank you, Maggie. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Town of Barnstable's formal site plan review. Our formal process means that we've met informally and talked through some of the regulatory details, and that this application is likely to head to a multi-member board. The purpose of site plan review is to allow applicants and proponents to come before regulatory staff as a one-stop shop kind of deal and go through the regulatory issues that they may face in the permitting process. The process here works. We read a case into the record. We ask the proponent to, or the applicant to give us a brief description about their project, and then we bring it back to staff for comment. Whoever speaks, just ask that you state your name for the record. As you've noticed, this is a recorded session. Formal site plan review is recorded, and that recording is kept and retained for the public to be able to view. So if you need a copy of the recording, you're welcome to it. But also, we'll be giving a written statement of today's proceedings. So with that said, we'll go ahead and read our first case into the record. Our only case into the record.
Correct. Our only case today is site plan review 012-22 for Gigi's Beauty Bar. I believe it's represented by Ronnie Bourgeois today. 235 Barnstable Road in Hyannis, map parcel 310-170. Zoning is in the HG and the WP overlay. This application is for a full cosmetic services salon to be offered to both men and women. There will be 9 employees offering services for hair, manicures, pedicures, and massage. Operating hours will be 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. This is being heard at formal because the applicant requires zoning relief for parking.
Great, thank you. If you'd like to go ahead, Ronnie, the floor is yours.
Sure. My name is Ronald Bourgeois. I am the owner of the property. I purchased it last August 17th, so it's just about a year we've had it. Previous to the beauty bars taking occupancy of this specific unit. There's basically like 4 units in the building. It's a commercial building, big building. And there was account. So he moved out January 1st. These guys moved in, and they've been trying to apply for a license and getting it proper. At the same time, they moved out. Just coincidentally, this Aaron's Furniture that had been there for the last 15 years. They're like a rental place. They rent furniture to people. It's like a rent-a-center situation, and they had been there for like 15 years. It's just a coincidence they moved out at the same time, and a party business took them over. So the party, it's like a party supply business, and they like set up tents. They do chairs. It's kind of party supplies, stuff like that. So and then the other resident of the other 2 residents is Carpets of Cape Cod and a Restaurant Accounting Solutions. The Restaurant Accounting Solutions is a specific accountant that caters to restaurants. They do software and accounting for restaurants. The Carpets of Cape Cod, predominantly a lot of their space, it's a big space they have, but their space is there's retail, but a lot of it is they house their carpets there. They cut them, they put them to size, and they put them on display for customers. I've been at the site over the course of the year, and Carpets of Cape Cod, they have the employees, and they might have 2 or 3 customers there tops. So they don't really use a lot of parking. But nevertheless, that there is the requirement of being a retail establishment of whatever what the town requires. But they really don't use a lot of parking. I've never seen a parking problem there at any time. There's always been spaces available. So then the party people is kind of a similar situation. They house a lot of their party supplies, their tents, their chairs. They got like cups and all kinds of I don't know how to explain it. Stuff that says happy birthday, anniversary and stuff like that. And so a lot of times they deliver and they set up when they do these events. And then they do have customers, but there again, they only have really 2 employees, maybe 3. And then they have a customer or 2. And there's never been any parking issues there either. There's a big row of parking spaces out front. So there's always available spaces. Then at the corner of the building is this beauty bar, which was formerly the accountant. So that's where this gentleman is trying to propose his business. And then on the second floor, there's the restaurant accounting people. So they have probably 10 or 15 software engineer type guys, secretary. It's more of a clerical type business is their scenario. So I had Karen Healy of the BSC group draw up certified plot plans for this property. And there's an adjacent property at 139 Grove Street. 2 separate parcels, 2 separate owners, but basically I'm the principal behind one of them. One of them is Our Child LLC, and one of them is in my personal name. So when I talked to Karen, we kind of thought we had 45 spaces, but when we looked at loading docks and garages and the dumpster and so forth, there's 1 dumpster on the site. There's really 42 spaces is what we came up with. And so we don't have enough spaces to do everything we needed based on the square footage and stuff. So with the lot next door, I'm proposing to dedicate and put an easement that would be in perpetual situation. I'm trying to find my paperwork in front of me. I apologize. It was another 10 or 12 spaces from that to bring it up to, it'd be 55 spaces or 54 spaces. So that's what I'm proposing to do. I've been out there, I'm out there all the time. We've never had a parking issue, but nevertheless, the town has the requirements. So we're trying to abide by them and do what we can to make all this happen. So thank you. I'd be open to any questions.
Sure. Thank you, Ron. So I don't know, I'll let you deal with planning staff, but you may be able to do, off hours discussion with the zoning board as opposed to grabbing places from the other side, just because of the nature of your business. And that's in our ordinance, but I'll defer to planning staff on that. Maggie, have we received any correspondence on this matter?
Nothing additional, Brian, no.
Great, thank you. Kate Maldonado, please.
Thank you, Brian. Kate Maldonado, Planning and Development. As has been discussed, the applicant is providing less parking than is what is required. The property is zoned Hyannis Gateway, which is one of the Hyannis Village zoning districts, and therefore you will go before the planning board to request a special permit, and we can talk through those logistics that Brian has brought up. In the special permit, there's provisions for why the planning board could consider reduced parking, and so we can look at that further. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. And I'm never going to get that right. I always say zoning board of appeals. Sorry about that. Mr. Graves.
Thank you, Brian. Paul Graves, Department of Public Works. Just a point of information, DPW received, reviewed, and accepted the wastewater pretreatment application for this business, and we have no further comments.
Thank you. Hyannis Fire, Lieutenant Shropshire.
Morning, Lieutenant Shropshire, Hyannis Fire. We'll just continue to work with you through the permitting process if there's any changes to the fire alarm system and sprinkler system there. But other than that, we are good.
Good, thank you. And last but certainly not least, David Stanton.
Thank you, Brian. David Stanton with Health. The only thing they'll have to do is register the hazardous materials with the health division and then get any necessary state licenses. And that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody staff-wise here see any reason why this matter cannot move forward to permitting? Seeing none, I'd find the matter is approvable. Mr. Ronnie, you can just feel free to go ahead and start your permitting with the planning board, okay?
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Barnes.
All right, thank you.
Ladies as well.
Thank you, staff, for your time and your preparation on this case. I really appreciate everything you put into this. So you have a great rest of your day, and if I don't see you, have a great weekend.